Yes, I would love to play first. Alright, this is an infinitely keepable hand. So turn 3 byway courier. I mean, if my opponent's doing nothing, I could play Trail of Evidence, but there's no really compelling reason to do so at this point, since, I mean, I could potentially follow up with a Welcome to the Fold the next turn and get an extra clue out of the deal. Alright. So I may... I mean, ideally I wait until my opponent decides to pay the mana and flip this dude, but I could play a courier and then steal the gargoyle the next turn, assuming my opponent doesn't play anything in the next 2 turns, which seems unlikely. Although we did step 1 correctly. Get opponent not to play anything turn 2. Yeah, getting my opponent to pay the 6 mana for this thing would just be amazing. Oh, I could take the Wicker Witch. Seems fine too. But here, we just play the Trail. There's no compelling reason to steal either of these creatures at this point. This is my career. I'm happy to make that trade. And then steal the gargoyle or something else later. So I think, and yeah, I could play the homunculus, but I'm just as happy to trade the homunculus as I am the courier. So I think that playing the Trail of Evidence is fine. I can represent Confront the Unknown here. Maybe they won't attack. Give my guy +2/+2 thanks to Trail of Evidence. How good. My opponent appears to be mono white colorless creatures. I don't think that that's actually the case, but who knows. There we go, white-green. You can see a Solitary Hunter, Militant Inquisitor. Alright. So obviously they just drew that this turn, which is... Well, no, I guess they could have had it last turn. They just wanted to play the Wicker Witch. Didn't want to trade their guy. So here I might play the homunculus, and then I can crack the clue end of my opponent's turn. Actually, maybe I'll crack the clue now just so I can have a chance at hitting my land. Yeah, there we go. We did it! Figured out the format. Sure. I agreed to take 2. That is fine. Bye. Reaper. Alright. So I can play the Masterpiece, and it's a 3/3. Or I could just flash in the Stormrider Spirit and trade with the Reaper if I need to. Which I think might be fine. Yeah, and especially since, assuming my opponent hits their 6th land and they transform the Gargoyle next turn, I could steal it. Yeah, they probably have the 6th land in hand. Yes, I do not have the 6th land. Oh. They do have the 6th land. They just opted not to flip their guy. That's a good reason not to flip their guy. Alright, well, the Go for the Shore is suboptimal at this point. We can steal the Gargoyle. Doesn't do a whole lot for us. I think just play out my wolf. I guess this is a compelling reason to play more islands. Do not consider that. I'm not a smart man. Plains. Plains. Again, opts not to flip the Gargoyle. I mean, I guess he's holding down the fort on the ground just fine. Go ahead and double block here. Aberrant Researcher. So this might actually compel my opponent to flip the Gargoyle next turn, although I don't know that he'll necessarily attack with it. I'm dead to a lot of things, though. Piggy is a problem. Sure. Now I gotta block with my homunculus. Go to 1. Yeah, I'm not fortunate. Let's see what we can do about this. So he's got a lot of artifacts. I mean, I don't want to play this thing to kill a Wicker Witch. I suppose I can if I have to. Bringing in a Swine seems okay. Rise from the Tides maybe isn't as exciting. All of these things seems slow. Trail of Evidence also seems slow. He does have some X3s. Bring in a Moldgraph Scavenger, but even that doesn't block extremely well. I could bring in a Selhoff. What to do? What? I feel like we got unlucky in just not being able to cast many instants or sorceries. Let's keep that in and just see how that goes. We'll put in an island instead of having a million forest, though, since that seems like a better play. Yes, I would like to play. I'll keep this. In terms of intelligence, homunculi are somewhere between humans and scabs. Clever enough to follow more complex orders, but dim enough not to question them. Do like that little guy just goes wherever I tell him to go. I tell him to attack, and he obliges. Homunculus, offer the trade. Should probably be playing islands, but that's alright. Would like to be able to investigate, so my deck would be kind enough to give me some investigate cards. I would appreciate it. Rabbit bite. Alright. Don't think I care about rabbit biting that thing. That's fine. And pass turn. My opponent, other than the 6/6, hasn't played anything that seemed super threatening to me. Alright. I get to maximize value. Make clues for days. Sure. Come at me. This was an aggressive attack. Sure. So, I mean, I could engulf on his turn and bounce all of his dudes. Or I could just Compelling Deterrence this thing. Either of those things would be fine, I think. Especially if he plays something main phase. Like a piggy. He's pretty close to delirium here. Do I care about that? You know what? I do want to make some clues. You got it. Alright. Well, swine fights quite well. Yeah. Assuming my swine doesn't get humbled, then I can rabbit bite next turn, which would be swell. I agree to the terms of your attack, sir. Play your own piggy. So I think, yeah, next turn I definitely do some rabbit biting, get some clues. Might play the magnifying glass, or I might hold up the engulf this shore. What's this? 3 mana Angelic Purge. Oh, interesting. Alright, that probably means that he's got another Angelic Purge somewhere in his hand. And the Daring Sleuth with the Trail of Evidence is nice. There you go. Attack. No! Alright. And then I'll hold the magnifying glass because then I can use it for prowess next turn. And crack the clue at the end of my turn. His turn, rather. Sure. Just Reapers for days. Okay. Opponent does have Delirium. I'm guessing he probably doesn't block here. Seems bad for him if he does. I mean, it's honestly not great for me. But here, at least I can block something if I need to. It's not immediately clear to me that I need to, though. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 2. So let's draw a card. Should have done that end of turn. That was not smart. Oh well. So I can investigate. Let's see what we draw. Irrelevant. So, there's no real reason. I mean, I can pretend like I have a relevant spell, but sure. Also sure. So I think I Jace bounce the Reaper. Attack for 7. Alright. That's you. Land. Attack with these dudes. And play Courier. Oops. Okay. Paying green mana for green spells. Gotta do it. So my opponent can kill Jace if they want, but I think that I'm very happy if they do that, because it just means that they're dead. I mean, that means that they can replay their Reaper. Gotta pay 2 to equip, and they, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I mean, they could have like a Loam Dryad or a 3-bit Investigator or something to block the Courier, but it seems unlikely. And if they're doing that, then they're still just trading with my guys, which is fine, and it leaves me with a Courier. Sure. So, what did we learn there? We learned that Mythic Rares are great, that my opponent has more flyers. So, keeping the Storm Rider Spirit in is obviously a good idea. Hopefully I'll get to cast this as more than a 3/3. I don't know that I saw anything that makes me want to bring any of this other stuff in. I mean, Watcher in the Web blocks the Moorland Drifter nicely, but if I'm bringing in a 5-drop to block a 2-drop, I'm in more trouble than I care to admit. So I think we'll keep this. I mean, in that game, Confront the Unknown might have been really good, but I don't think that's normally going to be the case. Alright, well, we can. It's a really slow start, but it does let me dig. I mean, not being able to dig for creatures seems bad, but my opponent didn't get off to really blistering starts either game. Yeah, they've got some 2-drops and 3-drops, but they're not the kind of 2-drops and 3-drops that really put a whole lot of pressure on me. So I don't think I have to be too terribly concerned about this. My opponent on a Mole to 6 so far. Pondering a Mole to 5. Did not opt to do that. Turn 1 Gargoyle. Alright. I like the scob, I like the scob. Two-phase sensor, also acceptable. I see a militant inquisitor. No. Oh. That's interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm gonna discard a land here. Keep my delirium on. Oh, nope. How lucky. I don't have to discard. How incredibly lucky. So next turn I get to play my scob. Aspiring Captain. Wow, just like getting 0 value out of this gargoyle. Play the scob. So, I mean, next turn if I really want to trade something away, I could play the wolf, and then I could bounce the equipment when he attacks with his captain, but you know, that's not the most exciting play I could make. Let's see what he plays here. If he plays something that'll trade with the wolf, I think I'm fine doing that. Or if he just plays nothing. This might be better. I like trading away the courier. I haven't seen Puncturing Light yet, so show me what you got. Alright. The question is, you know I have Compelling Deterrence in hand. Do you know that it says non-land permanent? Sure. I do own a zombie. Look at this. Look at this. Oh man. Good job, Scob. You make me so happy. You make me so happy. Discard something sweet. Sure. Getting rid of the True Faith Sensor Order. So here, do I just hold back the Scob and then draw with Jace, and then bounce the Scob. You know, if he doesn't, if he could cast 7 mana to retransform this thing, that seems good for me. So let's do that. Yeah, and then next turn I can cast the Quill Wolf and have 6 mana up to pump it if he plays something like a boar or something instead. Nope, not replaying the Gargoyle, but also not mill slamming that. Sure. Sad face. Okay. I think I'll crack a clue, see what I draw. Rabbit bite. That is nice. So scry one, draw one. Ooh, we will put on the top of my library. Rabbit bite that thing. Jace is safe for another turn. And then next turn, my masterpiece is going to be a 5/5. 5/5 flyer for 5. Seems great. Matches up nicely against the Reaper. If only I could discard you. Alright, well, let's scry and draw. I think that's fine. Attack the wolf. Be super happy when he decides to block, which of course he won't. Now here I can play the masterpiece, which I think is what I'm gonna do because it ends up being a 4/4. You know, obviously if I could have played the researcher, I would have loved that, but and my opponent just decides to back it in. Like I said, double mythic on color mythics are great.